81 years ago today, the world powers of the time came together to sign both the London Agreement and Charter, which honestly was pretty wild. The London Agreement and Charter basically created the legal framework necessary for the Nuremberg trials, but with a twist. The parties involved in this agreement, being the US, the United Kingdom, France, and the Soviet Union, decided to go after the individual Nazis involved in World War II. This had never been done before, but it was important, specifically for the US. In fact, Great Britain and the Soviets basically just wanted to execute the Nazis and be done with it, generally speaking. That being said, it wasn't like the US was pushing for a trial out of its love for due process. No, they wanted to hold the Nazis accountable. If the Nazis were to be blamed for pushing this war of aggression and violating world peace, it would not only validate our own call to arms, but our own military conduct. And there were a few things we wanted to sweep under the rug, like the near eradication of Dresden and dropping the atomic bombs, which we'd focus more on during the Tokyo trials. Anyways, because we were focusing on Nazi aggression, obviously that meant that we weren't going to spend that much attention on the Holocaust. Nope, we had a different target in mind: labor unions. Interestingly enough, one of our points of attack focused on the Nazis' destruction of labor unions and how that helped spread Nazism worldwide, which is probably true and ironic. So much so that even members of the media made fun of it. At the time, people viewed these hypocrisies as a form of victor's justice, and they weren't entirely wrong. The US could smell change in the air and viewed these trials as a way of cementing themselves as a world power. After World War II, many of the old powers were hurting, and the US saw these trials as an opportunity to establish their own soft power around the globe. And boy was it effective! Regardless, even though the US had ulterior motives for these trials, the Nazis still needed to be held accountable for the atrocities they committed. And the Nuremberg trials did allow that, as well as lay the groundwork for the International Criminal Court, who in 2024 put out an arrest warrant for Bibi Netanyahu for also being a Nazi and doing a genocide against the Palestinians. But unfortunately, we find ourselves on the wrong side of history as we're currently aiding and abetting him. And that's your history today.